Welcome to the Wildcats podcast, coming to you from Wildcats Studios with your hosts Adam Lund and Jeremy Boucher.
Oh, welcome back to Wildcats Studios for another episode of the Wildcats podcast, your unofficial voice for all things Moncton Wildcats. As always, fanisters, I am your host, Adam Lund, and of course, I am joined by your favorite co-hoster who just barely made it here, Mr. Jeremy Boucher. How is the 4x4 handling in this rainy, wet, frozen weather?
Yeah, it's quite the weather we got on Monday, and it was.
I think we're paying for our December weather right now.
Well, that's it. A lot of floody roads, and I've got no power at home right now, so it's nice to come to your humble abode and have lights. And very difficult to do any sort of work when there's no power.
Yeah, and for those wondering, we do record on Mondays, so
yes,
when you hear this, he probably, I would hope, has power by then. But one might not know.
I'll be getting some hotel rooms and billing NB Power if I don't have my lights on by Wednesday or Thursday.
I am here all alone.
Yes,
my wife is in
Ontario.
Ontario. She's in the Prague, Czech Republic. As you hear this, so you are welcome to stay here.
Perfect.
Just you.
Yeah, leave.
You can you can bring Avery.
Leave Avery and Megan in the dark.
Yeah, no, you can bring Avery. Yeah. Megan, find your own way home.
Yeah.
No, I'm
scared
just
of the
kidding.
dark. Just let her live like that.
You can't get unscared if you don't face your fears,
that's
right?
That's true, and it can get very dark in there if there's no power. Like it's.
Living in an apartment building is kind of eerie.
Yeah, it is, and it's. All we have is candles. We don't have a generator or anything like that, so it's no electricity. There's no Netflix. There's no TV. There's no internet, so it's tough to find something to do and just jack up your data on your phones for the month, and that's all. That's it.
And hope that someone who works at Rogers that can help you unjack your data billing. And
that's true.
Yeah, you forget how attached to technology we are, where if you lose power and you don't, I have, I think, 2 battery banks, but I couldn't tell you if both of them are full right now. So if I had no power, I got nothing to do. I'm hoping my phone is charged as much as it is, but if it goes for days and days, you brought your laptop here, you got charger to charge that, you're charging your phone.
Yeah, I'm getting the old electronics charged up so I can possibly have them tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the laptop I'll need for whatever tomorrow. I guess I can't do much work without it, but yeah, I'm hoping
that's where you unplug it. No, I had no power, boss.
Yeah,
I got nothing. I'm sorry.
I couldn't do much. Yeah. My productivity was low. And
that's why I slept in. I didn't have an alarm. I had no laptop to work. I'm sorry. Although nowadays it's not like when we ran out of power and you didn't actually have an alarm. Yeah. Your phone's got 3 or 4 and it doesn't generally.
I don't need 3 alarms to get up in the morning. I hear that. Shut up. And then I'm up.
Really? You just pop up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. My body's just like, coffee time. So I just get up and have my coffee, and then I chug that in 10 seconds and go to the gym.
I may, I get up to hit the alarm, to go back to sleep for 10 minutes, to hit the alarm, to go back to sleep for 10 minutes, and not a morning person at all.
No?
100%.
Well, I've come to realize that.
Yeah.
I send you messages at 7 that go unread for 4 hours, and you send me messages at 1 o'clock in the morning that go unread for 4 hours. So
Eventually sometimes you're up for the odd 10, 11 o'clock. I'm like, oh, he must just be getting up to go for a water or something like that.
Well, I was hoping one of these nights I'd be able to stay up past my bedtime to watch Jacob Pelche's NHL debut.
What's going on there?
You go on a 5-game road trip and call him up and don't play a minute? Well, go screw yourself, Daryl Sutter.
Yeah, the other guy played, I think.
Yeah, Walker Durr scored his first game and his first goal too.
And when he got called up on Sunday, I was like, okay, good. He's not playing tonight. Good. It's on Sportsnet West, which of course with Canadian TV they only allow you to watch the game if you live there.
Yeah.
Because heaven forbid there's fans outside of the market. But I'm so glad they give us the Islanders and the Devils or whatever, right? So stupid. Anyways, so I was happy that is, because I hate trying to find the game on a streaming service when I want to watch it. And then the games that they were actually on TV, I was like, come on.
Yeah.
Play the guy.
And it's the Daryl Sutter. He just doesn't like small players. And
Peltier's
So
not
it's-
small,
it's-
though.
he's not small. You've got Mangiapane, who's probably smaller than Pelche, and
Yeah, Gaudreau last year, but he had
Well, why do you think Gaudreau's gone now?
Well, yeah, but he didn't draft Gaudreau. He didn't anything like that.
Yeah.
He was.
He
there
also didn't
for him.
draft Mangiapane, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of frustrating. It's
Especially to be a parent, because it's not like like you want to be there for your first kids. You want to know when it's happening. There's flight delays everywhere. It's tough to get to buildings, and then your kid's on a 5-game road trip, so you're
waiting for that phone. You're waiting for that phone call,
hoping to get a flight to
Yeah.
Dallas or Nashville or where else were they?
St. Louis, Chicago, and it just.
Now, I'm sure Mr. Pelche was at every venue just waiting.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
But still,
he's waiting and waiting, and it's just so it's kind of frustrating that it hasn't happened yet because he's performing at that AHL level where it's time for him to get that opportunity. And no offense, you can probably sit Lucic for a game and get Pelche in the lineup. I mean, it's. If anything, you're getting more speed and more skill in your lineup, which is never a bad thing. And so a little frustrating as a fan of both the player and the team. And so I just I just hope it doesn't come to the point where he just asks for a trade, because I think he's the only player from that NHL draft in the first round that hasn't played yet. Like he's the only player in that first round that hasn't played. I think I'm pretty sure.
When was he drafted? 2019?
2019, one of the two. Like, I'm pretty sure he's the only first-round pick to have not played in the NHL yet. Like, I know you're looking it up right now, so you can correct me if I'm
Jack
wrong.
Hughes has. Is this his draft year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hughes has. Capo has. Doc Bo. Turcotte, I think so.
He's got in a game.
Broberg's played for the Oilers.
Cousins, Broberg, Zegras, Podkolzin.
Matt Boldy just signed a 7-year, $49 million deal.
Cam York. Like, these guys are all
Caulfield.
in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
Like, Newhook's already got a Stanley Cup. Poulin's had a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Bjornfoot and Holmstrom, I'm not sure, but
yeah. Like, these are all guys. I'm pretty sure, like, he's if it's not just him.
Yeah. They have played.
Yeah.
Poulin's played one. He's the only guy. Oh, Ryan Suzuki and Beecher and Johansson haven't played with him. That's it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Even guys in behind him have played.
Yeah, that's what's frustrating about it, right? Like, he's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
He's good enough to play in the NHL right now, but it's the team that he's for some particular reason, Daryl Sutter won't get him into the lineup, which is, like I said...
Yep,
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for it because I'm like, look, I've always told myself, first NHL game, I'm buying his jersey, and I'm still waiting for that day that I have to buy his jersey.
Now, maybe Daryl knows you spent a lot at Christmas, so he's waiting. I don't know, but I'll buy it too. It'll be the only Flames jersey I'll have ever owned. It'll have his number. It'll be flipped around. It'll be signed, and it'll be in the studio. That's it. Mm-hmm. It won't be worn. But, see, this is why I said the Oilers should have traded up to 25 to get him, because he'd be playing with the Oilers right now, because at that time they needed all the help they can get. But, it sucks for the player to, go on a road trip for 5 games and just get to practice and eat really expensive popcorn and fly in style, right?
Yeah.
It's sucks for him. Hopefully it happens sooner rather than later for Peltz, because he deserves it. I don't know what he can't not bring to the lineup for a team that's, I believe, struggling a little bit. Maybe.
Well, struggling. They're still ahead of the Oilers.
But they're not where they expectations be, right? Both the Oilers and the Flames are in wildcard spots right now.
And Seattle's taking a jump.
Good Lord.
I don't think many people saw coming.
Mm-mm.
And, so I'm just waiting for it.
Yep.
I'm waiting to get that screenshot of Mario Pelche saying he's gotten on a plane and he's heading here, and I'm just okay. Well, if I can get that screenshot before the Flames announce it, well, who's gonna be breaking that news?
You and me.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, they'll wait. They'll play him at home, which I don't know if you've noticed. Maybe you haven't. I was like, where are the Wranglers dressing in the arena? they actually dress in the Flames locker room. Eh?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like, I know you've got a lot of teams with the Hitmen and the Flames and the Roughnecks and all that, but I'm like, and the visiting locker room, and I'm like, I was always wondering, I was like, where's the Wranglers dressing room going to go? Because there can't be that many dressing rooms in the building. Nope, they dress in the Flames locker room, and
That's weird.
I thought that was a little bit weird. So, don't forget, as always, you can follow us on social media for that Pelche debut. On Twitter, Moncton Wildcats, Instagram, Wildcats Podcast, TikTok, Wildcats Podcast, and on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Quick question. The commiss search is commencing now.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a few names out there. Maybe we're one of them. We're not sure. But if we were to be one, what is one change to the QMJHL on or off the ice that you would want to make? Because I know mine.
Instead of 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime, extend it to 10 before you go to a shootout.
Okay.
Because it's you're starting to see these. I don't know. A lot of people are going to agree with me, and even McJesus agrees with it. And when McJesus starts talking, people listen. It's
Pretty
like
much,
it's
yeah.
like us, right? It's
Yeah.
The team when you do that zone entry and then you skate it and immediately you skate back out. I mean, that's taking time off the clock.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the point where you're seeing like
2-3 shots.
2 or 3 shots in an overtime, and the whole concept of 3-on-3 was to end games.
Yeah.
Was to award a winner without having to go to a shootout, or 4-on-4 was boring.
Mm-hmm.
There was just too much passing. There wasn't enough ice, and 3-on-3 is supposed to open up ice, but they're starting to defend to 3-on-3 a little better. I just think, it's time to maybe go from 5 minutes to 10 minutes before you go to a shootout. And, if it means fans getting to watch 5 minutes more hockey, who cares?
Yep.
It's doesn't matter where you go, the market you're visiting, you're paying a pretty penny. It's just overtime is just getting too boring right now.
Yeah.
I think if you have more of an opportunity to give a team a chance to win before having to go to a skills competition, just do it.
Yeah, because I think when it first came into the league, Q and NHL, you saw the 2-on-1s and back and forth and opportunities and this and that, and then teams got better at defending it.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you've got the go in, check for it, see if you get a mismatch, come back out. So if you go 10-on-10, you might have a little bit more action because there's more time on the clock. I think also with that, I would add on to that, you can't go over the red line more than twice.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come back in, if you decide to go in the blue line and come back out and reset, you cannot go over the red line more than twice.
Yep.
Or it's penalty.
Yep.
Right?
I like that.
Some 2 or 3 times in a game, something like that. So you don't have that over and back. And I think Dave McKnight had that rule, like can't do it at all. I think you can do it a couple times, and obviously changes don't matter, but you can't physically bring the puck back over the red line. Mine is I know it's going to be really tough with cost in that, but just I would reduce the schedule to 60 games to lessen the division matchups in the second half of the year. I mean, I think we play our division like 28 times or something like that. We got 1 in Rimouski, 1 Quebec, Chicoutimi, Gatineau. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 7. We have 7 games, 8 games against Quebec teams remaining. So I think I would definitely shrink the schedule to 6 so you're not playing your division. Or if you want to stay with 68, shrink the division games and try and have a place where, you see a team twice at home, and then the next year you go there twice, like Victoriaville.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm blanking on his name. Dag didn't play here this year. There's a possibility we never see Dag play in Moncton because they come once a year, and it could be the second of a back-to-back where the other guy plays. And he's probably going to be the starter, so he's going to play most of the nights. But, you get into a situation where you're trying to sell fans on the league and trying to sell tickets, but a guy like Dag, who's one of the top prospects, they're only going to see once. Mm-hmm. Teams in Quebec are only going to see Etienne Morin once.
Yeah.
Right? at least that way. And I know it's really difficult with scheduling and the long bus trips for Rouyn-Noranda and Val-d'Or and stuff like that. But, instead of so Victoriaville would be coming here again one more time. I just think for ticket sales and stuff like that, you can actually sell a little bit more. Like your bottom line for these Charlottetowns, Cape Bretons, if they get the Patrick Waugh experience or the Quebec teams twice, the Sherbrooks twice, that's going to draw a little bit more. And even here in Moncton, then seeing Bathurst, seeing the Eagles again at the end of the year, right? Like it's just, I wanted Quebec to play on Friday and Bathurst to play on Wednesday because I was like, oh, it's just Bathurst, and Bathurst gets canceled. And I'm like, good. I mean, I was going to go to the game. Obviously it's good for their safety, but I'm glad they didn't switch it because the weather on Friday, that Quebec game would have gone through, and I didn't really want to go out in that weather. I haven't left my house since Friday because of weather. And because it was Bathurst, had it gone on, I don't even know if I would have gone. Right? Like, it's just, you get tired of seeing the same teams, and you get that fan fatigue, and especially for season ticket holders. I try to do something with the scheduling, and I don't know how you would change it with the travel restriction or travel wise and cost wise. Obviously that's a big thing, but maybe if you see teams more, tickets are better, bottom line goes up. Would you change the playoff format?
Well,
as to the 1 to the 8, or would you stay, or the 1-16, or stay the 1-8?
I like the conference.
I do until the third round too.
Well, the thing with that is when you do the 1 to 16, your situations were going to run into 2-3-2.
Yeah.
And I don't like 2-3-2.
No.
I never liked 2-3-2. No. Because really 2-3-2, if one of the road teams wins one of those first two games, they're getting 3 at home.
Yeah. And a chance to close it out.
And a chance to close it out. Like that's I don't like 2-3-2. And I think the conference, the 1-8 matchups, it saves travel. These players have been on the road since August. Do whatever you can to limit the traveling in the first round at least.
Yeah.
If after second round, sure, let's reseed them. But I think at least the first round should be conference. Hell, maybe go to the second round as well for all we know, and then reseed going into the third. But I just, the traveling aspect for the 1-16 and 2-15.
I like the 1-8. Like, I like the conference stuff.
Yeah,
but I really wish it would stay conference like until the end. So you have a Western Conference final, you have an Eastern Conference final, like, and then you've got the two. And it's tough because sometimes, like a couple of years ago, the Eastern Conference was just so much better than the Western Conference. So your Western Conference representative is going to be a little weak. This year, I mean, Victoriaville, Gatineau, Sherbrooke, all at 58. Quebec and Halifax is at 61. So your chances are you're going to get, I mean, if you kept it where it was Eastern Conference all the way, Quebec and Halifax would be your third round matchup if they were to get all the way with no surprises, right? So then your matchup might be all right. But yeah, I don't mind the 1-8, but I just wish it was 1-8 all the way to the end. Do you know Quebec is supposed to face Cape Breton right now?
Holy shoot!
In a 1-8, so that might be a 2-3.
That would be something.
That would be a 2-3.
That would definitely be a 2-3 because I think
it's like 5 hours, isn't it?
I think it's 700 kilometers.
Yeah,
I think that's the cutoff. So if it's more than 700 kilometers, it's a 2-3-2.
Yeah. So you got Quebec, Cape Breton, Halifax, Bathurst, Rimouski, Baie-Comeau, and Moncton, Chicoutimi.
Jeez.
And then you
Chicoutimi is doing pretty well lately. They made some pretty good pickups.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, it's.
And then Victoriaville, Blainville, Gatineau, Val-d'Or, Sherbrooke, Drummondville, Rouyn-Noranda, Shawinigan. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4 out of that Western Conference.
Wow, that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a fun playoff, and there's probably gonna be an upset along the way
somewhere. Yep. All right, it won't be. I can almost guarantee it won't be Quebec and Cape Breton. Never say never, but I can almost guarantee it. All right, let's get into the news and notes from around the queue.
News and notes from around the queue.
All right, so only one postponed game this past week. It was the Wildcats and the Titan, as I said, on Friday. Obviously, they will have a makeup date I know that on our graphic I said canceled. Just didn't find a postponed one. I wasn't thinking
Adam.
like it's not going to be canceled. They're going to play.
Different.
But let's be honest. Weather cancellations right now are wonderful as compared to the cancellations we've had for the past 2.5 years, right? Like I'll take a weather cancellation any day of the week, especially home games that I don't have to leave my house in crappy weather. After an excellent trade deadline for the Olympics, they now lose Anton Vero for about 4 to 6 weeks, which they're rolling right now. Good thing they went and got Kidney, who's kind of lights out, and Cam McDonald, and they're playing really well right now. They're 8-1-1, so a bit of a shock, but hey, he'll be rested come playoff time because he might not even get to the playoff season's about 2.5 months left, so 4 to 6 weeks he might just be at the end. I was thinking 4 to 6 months, but 4 to 6 weeks he's looking for mid-February. So
fine.
We will
He's
not
back.
have to face him. I mean, they got a really good team other than him, but hey, we don't have to face him when we play Gatineau.
Still in tough there.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna get to that in a couple weeks. That is a very tough road trip. The QMJHL Team of the Week. Now I got to get back to it because I just left it. Unless I'm on this one. Nope, that one. The QMJHL Team of the Week. Eagles legend Josh Lawrence.
Oh, yes.
3 games, 3 goals, 5 assists. Riley Kidney, the aforementioned Riley Kidney for Gatineau, 3 games, 1 goal, 9 assists. Alexis Gendron, 3 games, 5 goals, 3 assists. Frederic Brunet, this is like almost the trading, the all-trade team here.
It's the pack your shit team of the week.
Yeah, it's just about the pack.
Except your Dylan Gill and Mathis Rousseau.
Yeah. Frederic Brunet from Victoriaville, 2 games, 1 goal, 6 assists. Dylan Gill, 3 games, 0 goals, 6 assists. And Matthias Rousseau, 2-0 and a .963 save percentage with a 1.44 goals against average. Matthias Rousseau ends up being your player of the week and absolutely earned. I mean, we came on here and we thought maybe they should upgrade their goaltending. He faced a very good Quebec team, a very good Sherbrooke team, and went 2-0 against them. And Halifax looked pretty good against those 2 teams. So, well earned. I know maybe not just us, but I think a few people were kind of questioning the move if they should add a goaltender. But early on, the return of not trading him seems to be working out for the Mooseheads.
By the looks of it.
Yep.
I mean, the fact that they were able to go and quote unquote beat Quebec, even though it wasn't I think that game was a shootout.
Yep.
So we'll say quote unquote beat them. And then Sherbrooke and then Moncton. I mean, those are statement games by the Mooseheads, and I'll be honest, I've said that I still don't like their chances in the playoffs once they get to the second round, maybe into the third, because I don't think they did enough. And I think your regular season's one game, but in the playoffs you've got to go win 4 out of 7, and for them to play 4 games like that against Quebec or 4 games like that against Sherbrooke, or
we'll get into it a little bit.
I
4
don't-
games like that against us.
I don't think they can do it.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's of course they were without LaRue, and to still be able to win those games without LaRue is a pretty good accomplishment. But at the same time, I'm hesitant to want to pump their tires once the playoffs roll around, not because they're rivals of ours, but
as an unbiased look at them.
I honestly don't think they did enough. I think they addressed their offense more than they had to, and didn't address their defense and their goaltending, because we saw ourselves on Sunday. Brady James is
for so
not the most reliable, and I mean probably a couple of those goals that he let in against Moncton he should have had. So if anything happens to Rousseau, I don't think James is capable of taking them far. So I'll keep repeating that until the playoffs, and if I'm wrong, I've been wrong before, and
what?
not often.
No,
but
way less than me.
We'll see. I just, like I said, I don't think they did enough.
Yep. No, I concur. And one game against the team as you get into the regular season is one thing. Playing a full series that's a different thing. Your Wildcats podcast, Jeremy Boucher, team
yes.
of the week.
So this is again because I was without electricity.
You had a week to do this. I'm just kidding.
Not necessarily.
No,
Come on.
absolutely
The
not.
games are on Sunday.
I know.
I've got to go on. Before I get into that,
Yes.
I started looking at some places to stay in Sherbrooke.
Yeah.
So for example, we make this an Adam and Jeremy trip, and our ladies stay home. Well, we can stay at the Motel La Marquise.
Yeah.
Maybe we can stay ourselves in the honeymoon suite and get a heart-shaped jacuzzi.
That's Dumb and Dumber right there. That's your.
Where is I'm trying to find a better picture of it, but there you go. Huh?
Yeah.
Can't you just picture us just laying there?
Dude, that's full on Dumb and Dumber.
Well, it is.
Yeah, that's perfect.
We can do our Maritimes Division
round table
from the heart-shaped jacuzzi.
We're in the jacuzzi with the microphones coming down, and then off the board is like 3 other microphones, and the other media guys are like, "No, I'm out."
Or we could do it on the out at the outdoor pool.
Yeah,
that would be something.
Yeah, we can definitely do it. That is, for those who don't remember, the Q is live in-person draft in Sherbrooke, so we will be there as well. We will have our Maritime Roundtable back live again.
Yes.
The night before the draft. So, anyways, your team of the week.
Yeah, the team of the week. So I've got 3 forwards written down. So playing a little shorthanded here, but I think I can probably add on to that as we go. So at the forward position, I have Alex Drover, who's back in the queue, back in St. John for his second tour of duty with the Sea Dogs. 4 games, 6 points. So he's getting to where he should be after his experience with the Medicine Hat Tigers, because it so happens all the time that Q players go to the WHL, right?
Yeah.
Second was Maxime Massé of Chicoutimi, the first rookie to hit 40 points this season.
Oh, wow.
16 years old, point per game player.
Yeah.
Not bad. Third forward is Justin Gendron of the former Moncton Flyers. Has already tripled his points from his rookie season. 9 points as a 16-year-old. Now he's up to 27 and counting as a 17-year-old.
Nice.
So, yeah, for my defense, I'm going to go a little bit off the board here. So I'll go with Cameron Wynot of Halifax, because why not?
Yeah.
Only because of his move that he made in the shootout to win that game against Quebec was quite nice. Beautiful goal for a defenseman. And speaking of beautiful goals by defensemen in a shootout, I'm also going to go with Baie-Comeau's Nick Svenenko, who won it in a shootout against, I believe, Rouyn-Noranda the other night. I think
it's 3-2.
Yes, 3-2, yeah. Another beautiful move by defensemen in a shootout. You love to see, them be able to transfer their defensive game to the skills competition. And obviously, I got to go with Mathis Rousseau as the goalie of the week. It's for him to go in and win a game against Quebec and win a game against Sherbrooke, just based off what I've said about Halifax recently.
Yeah.
I'll eat crow this week and give it to him.
Yeah, no, hey, it happens every now and again.
Yeah. I've still got my eye on that heart-shaped Tuesday, though. Man, I got to go back to Sherbrooke, though.
Yeah.
Because we can't go a week without talking about the draft.
Yeah.
So I decided to post on the board about the Val-d'Or watch.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. So I posted about we've got 3 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do something with them.
Yep.
Well, why not go and trade for Ethan Gauthier from Sherbrooke? Because right now, you're hosting the draft. You don't pick until the 6th round.
Yeah, that's a shakeup for Sherbrooke.
You're not going to get fans in the building if you're not picking until 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So what better way to get people in the building first? Because this will have to be an announcement that's made before the draft to get people in the building.
The old Wednesday night trade.
Well,
because it opens up a day before or something like that.
So let's say, for example, Val-d'Or gets into the lottery, but it's like the 4th or 5th pick.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you're going to make the trade if you have 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. Because in my opinion, there's 3 players that are kind of
Right there.
like there's a forward, there's a defenseman, and there's another forward. So 2 forwards and a D that I would consider your top 3.
Okay.
And then there's not a significant drop, but there's a little bit of a drop.
And we will get into draft stuff
Yeah.
usually in late February, March.
So let's say this Valdor pick is 4th or 5th overall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sherbrooke wants to make a splash in front of their fans. Okay. Yes, it's sad to trade away Ethan Gauthier, but you give up that lottery pick. You also give Sherbrooke back their first. And you're probably going to have to give another second.
And a roster player?
I would say a prospect, maybe a Sidney Delorier.
Mm-hmm.
And probably another pick. But then Moncton still has their own pick. So you're still picking in the first round.
Yep.
You're getting a
Dynamite scorer.
For
2 years.
For 2 years. A 2-year player. And so you'd have him, who'd be probably a dynamite scorer. You'd have Morin, who would be, probably going to be one of the best defensemen in the league next year or for sure the year after that. So I'm just kind of starting to throw ideas out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it might sound stupid.
No.
Why would you mortgage a future? Well, you're not really mortgaging a future because A, is your Valdor, whoever you pick with the Valdor lottery pick, going to be an impact player when you go all in 2 years when the Q hosts the Memorial Cup. And if I'm a betting man, I bet the Wildcats bid on the hosting rights.
Yep. You said that a while ago, though.
Yeah. Is that player going to be an impact player on your team during that season? It depends who it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not 1, 2, or 3, like I said, there's a bit of a drop. So I'm open to trading that because like a 4th or 5th pick it's going to have significant value. You don't have to go and trade all 3 first-round picks because you're going to have a top 5.
Yeah.
You're giving them the top 5. You're giving them back one of theirs.
You're not doing it if it's 1, 2, or 3?
No.
No.
Maybe. No.
Because I know Sherbrooke, there's your splash, but they're looking the same way. Like there's 1, 2, and 3. Are they not doing it because it's a 4th, right?
So there's only one other way that this trade could work.
Because Gauthier would be a 20 in 2025.
And he's going to be pro by then.
Yeah.
So the only way that trade is going to work without trading that Valdor pick is this. 2026 is going to be an awful year in Moncton.
Yeah.
That pick's going to be probably a lottery pick. So, and at the draft, that's when you'll be officially allowed to trade 2026 picks.
Yeah.
So instead of trading away that Valdor pick, just offer our 2026 lottery pick.
And teams do like to go get
because at that
potential
point
for lottery picks.
At that point, Sherbrooke's going to be going through a full rebuild, and that's probably going to be a contending year for them.
Yeah.
Right? So there's different ways of looking at it. You can include it, or you can take a pick and sweeten the pot maybe with your own lottery pick down the road. So I'm starting to put together a little bit of math here to see how it would work out because it's going to be a big trade. It's going to involve a big amount of assets.
Yeah. So 2 firsts and a 3rd, or I guess 2024 2nd.
It's going to cost a lot.
Yeah.
But it would be a significant acquisition.
100% would be worth it, especially if you're bidding for the Memorial Cup.
Yeah.
Because you'd still have your 24 first. You'd still have your 25 first.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially your 26 first would go to Sherbrooke. But if you're able to get it without that, then you've got that to build for a team when you're going to be a lottery team.
So if you're not, I think, I'm not sure if they'd be able to hang on to that 2024 or that 2025 first.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, I'm saying that wouldn't be added in this deal, right?
I don't see where it would have to be.
Right. If you get 2 firsts
because
and 2024 second.
Both years it's going to be those are going to be late picks.
Yeah.
Right. And those, once you get into later rounds, it's not going to be as valuable.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think if you give Sherbrooke their first, which will probably because of Chicoutimi's 2 compensation picks, you're probably looking, it's either going to be 17, 18, 19, or 20. And you're willing to give up our possible lottery pick in 2026. I know that's looking ahead here. We're talking about a player who's 11 years old right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you probably throw in, I don't know, if it's done that way, you probably have to include one of our 2024 or 2025 firsts, I think, and probably a second.
But your top line with Loshing and Gauthier.
Loshing, Gauthier, and probably either you could probably put Lounsbury right there because Lounsbury's showing to be extremely reliable.
Especially, and then he's not even playing center.
Yeah.
So he could be your number one center.
And Gauthier's a natural. He's a right winger.
Yep.
So you have Loshing on your
you
left
even
side.
have Trenholm next year with Loshing and
Yeah. So it's look, I'm starting to. It may sound silly, but if people actually sit down and think about it and look at the benefits, because there's one reason why Moncton didn't win the rights to host the Memorial Cup in 2019 when Halifax did. Do you know why that is, Adam?
Because Halifax is better at everything.
Not necessarily.
In their turn.
So,
but actually, I honestly have no idea other than the fact that my guess is the hotels weren't ready downtown right around the arena. That's kind of the only thing I took away was our hotels was not ready. Halifax, everything was ready to go downtown for the event.
So it has to do with that, but it's more on ice. So when the Memorial Cup Selection Committee is choosing a host, the teams who submit a bid to host have to send them what their rosters would look like during the Memorial Cup.
Yeah.
Well, Moncton's bid basically had players who they'd have to trade for. Like they had Noah Dobson's name on that sheet.
Yeah.
I saw the sheet.
Oh, okay.
Moncton was going to acquire Noah Dobson if they won the rights to the Memorial Cup.
We'd still be paying for that.
We'd still probably. So Halifax
kind of had a team.
Yeah. Like Moncton had 5 players they were going to trade for if they won the rights, and Halifax only traded for 2, I think. And so Halifax roster, when they submitted to the selection committee, their roster looked more penciled in than Moncton's projected roster.
Yeah, because you can have trades on a projected piece of paper, but if you can't,
you can put this,
them,
you can write this guy's name, but that's like throwing darts at a dartboard.
Yeah, you hope the other team gives it up.
And if you have Ethan Gauthier's name already on your roster, that looks promising.
Yeah.
And that's the end goal. You want to be able to host the Memorial Cup. If you have Morin's name on there, you have Gauthier's name on there, you have Auger's name on there, you have all these guys' names on your roster already. Forte Gendron, Gabe Smith, Preston Lounsbury, Grenier. You're bringing all these guys back. Well, right now, adding Gauthier, that looks better than what Rimouski has.
Yep.
And that's what's going to give Moncton a leg up, because probably around this time next year, you're probably going to know who's hosting Memorial Cup in 2025.
Yeah, I think it's right after.
Because we already know who's hosting it next year.
Who is it? No, they're still.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, they're still. We know the 4 teams bidding on it.
Right. Okay. So
but either way,
so by this time next year,
we'll know if we're bidding on it or not.
Exactly.
And I think at the Memorial Cup they tell the next Memorial Cup.
So
roughly,
you need to have something concrete written on paper as to what your roster is going to look like.
Gauthier counts as an import from Phoenix.
Yeah, that's right.
Never mind. Just kidding.
He's an American. But that's what I mean. Like you have to have something that looks good on paper, so that the selection committee's like, okay, we feel comfortable giving this team the Memorial Cup, and that's why Moncton didn't win, because they have to go and trade for this guy. They had to go and trade for this guy. They had to go and trade for this guy. Halifax had this roster already ready.
Yeah.
They had Bogru already. They had Jared McIsaac already. Right? They had all these guys already on the roster.
They had
Lavoie. Right?
Yeah.
They were built already. It wasn't something that was just, we got some work to do.
Yeah, here's hoping.
That doesn't sound great.
We would have got the work done, but and I don't, there'll be a lot of people that probably will be a little annoyed, I would guess, because that's what they are if we give up 2 firsts for Ethan Gauthier. Because I remember looking through that and someone's like, for a 1-year player,
Yeah, well,
2 years.
That's
for anyways.
the
But-
dingbots who think they know it all.
But if we're giving up 2 firsts, Richie still has a first. And even if we're giving
If you give up 2
a
firsts,
few early round picks, he's proven to get players late in the draft. And I think that's huge for a fan base when you're giving up players and you're overpaying according to fans or not overpaying, and you look at your draft and you're like, huh? Like, you look at the 2019 draft, other than LaRue, there's nobody left in Moncton. Like, LaRue's in Halifax. And we had to give that up for the run. But that whole 2019 draft from Quebec is not in Moncton at all. So what has he done since then? Well, he's got Mueller who's playing. He's got Daniel who's playing. He's got Barbashev. Well, Barbashev was trying to think of other ones. He's got Lounsbury as late round picks. Like, he's finding guys early and he's finding guys late, so you don't have to give up assets when you're building for said Memorial Cup, because you've got Auger on the team, you've got Lounsbury on the team, you've got, Mueller on the team potentially. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you don't have to give extra assets to build your bottom 6 when you can draft your bottom 6 at the back end of a draft. So I have zero problem. We've talked about this, giving up 2 firsts. I hoped it was maybe our first in Sherbrooks that gets it done, which maybe you then have to add the 2026 lottery one. I'm a little bit more comfortable with that, and we have the 4th overall pick, who's a little bit more of an impact. I'm better with that than giving the 4th, but either way, you're getting a very good player for guys that might make an impact but won't make an impact when you need them to in a Memorial Cup year.
and there's this fact. We're going way off track here because
We are. We're fired up.
It's
what happens with in-person drafts.
Another thing is when Moncton hosted the Memorial Cup in 2006, we got 2 players who, to report, that probably would have never shown up or worn a Wildcats jersey if the Memorial Cup wasn't hosted by the Wildcats, and that's Adam Pino and Keith Yandel. Now, Adam Pino was picked by Moncton. Oh, man. It was a couple of years before the Memorial Cup, and he never showed up, but they kept him on the protected list.
Mm-hmm.
And he came here for the 05-06 season, lit it up. His shot was so fast one time, it shook the net. Like, it shook the post. That's how hard of a shot he took. Will we see
Second round? No, first round, 4th overall in 2022.
So we took him 4th overall.
2002.
In 2002, he never showed up until we hosted the Memorial Cup.
Then he was a point-a-game player.
Yeah.
59 points in 55 games.
Well, why can't we do that with Cole Eiserman? Here's your opportunity here to play for a national championship.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed a spot. You keep him on your protected list, you're getting one of the top players in the world. Then all of a sudden, you've got Loshing, Eiserman, Gauthier, Auger, probably an import, a European impact player. There's your top 5 right there, and that's bona fide skill, speed, you name it. That's going to be a team that scores goals. So I think that's a case where you have to keep Eiserman on your protected list.
Yeah.
And it's even another case here. So he's not going to be eligible to get drafted until 2024. Okay? He's probably going to be a top 5 pick.
Mm-hmm.
The NHL team says, we want you to play more. We want you to develop more. Go play in Moncton. Right? Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
And you've got your minute loggers. Like, you need at least 3 minute log defensemen when you're going for Memorial Cup, whether you're going for it or hosting, and they've got that with Morin, Grenier, Fortier, Jandra. So you've already got them on the roster as your 3. You're just adding.
It's just
bottom 6.
It's just pieces.
Impact.
You just need pieces, and hope maybe by then the CHL says, okay, we won't count 20-year-old goalies towards the 20-year-olds. So then you can keep a Steinman or
both.
Well, I'm not going to keep Simon and Philly on, right?
Yeah, you can keep one or the other.
You can keep one or the other, and then you've got Loshing and Auger as your 2 20-year-old forwards. Then you can go get a 20-year-old defenseman. Then you also have a 20-year-old goalie.
Yeah,
like it's for me is if there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of dominoes that need to fall here.
And the first one is the draft.
The first one's a draft. I think it's the acquisition of Gauthier. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass here. Rich, he's maybe listening to the show and just laughing his face off right now because he's like, Jeremy, you were a crazy motherfucker. But I just, if Richie wants to message me and say, give me a trade proposal, I will give him a trade proposal. It might look stupid, or it might look genius. But
there's no real overpay when you're trying to trade for a first overall pick.
That's it. Like
that's the thing.
You want to make your team better.
Yeah.
And I think we're in a position where we can do that just because of the assets we have. And
because of drafting properly. Look at Quebec, and you talked about this, the draft. Quebec didn't have a lot of prospects, a lot of good drafting. And because of the draft situation we've had, we can pay these overpay that some people will think for the first overall pick of former draft, right?
Right. And that's
still have a first round pick.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to COVID, stupid COVID, where we acquired Rodrigue, we acquired McIsaac, we acquired Bogru, and we acquired Fortier. We had the first 4 picks in our lineup from their draft.
Yeah.
And, well, I think if we do redo this draft, Morin's probably the second overall pick.
Yeah.
So you're off to a good start. If you get Gauthier, you've got Morin. I can't remember who the 3rd and 4th was, but I can tell you right now, it's.
Was that 2021?
I think so. Collard, maybe.
Tyler Peddle and Vincent Collard.
That's not going to happen.
And Luke Coughlin.
You're not going to get Collard. You're not going to get Peddle. And I don't think I want Peddle because Peddle's been, to me, a disappointment. Collard has been okay in Baie-Comeau.
You could potentially get McKinnon, Catafor from Halifax.
But that would
Dylan McKinnon would be your.
If you go and get McKinnon and Catafor, that's basically you saying, "Here's your McIsaac and Grew trade again."
I'm saying one of those at the deadline when you know you have the Memorial Cup.
Yeah.
You go get one of those.
If there's any player on that list I want, is Jordan Turingi.
Turingi, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
That's just another offensive-minded defenseman. And if there's anything I like, it's offensive defenseman. But look, we're going way off topic here, and we're dreaming, I think. But you're right. It starts at the draft, and I think Sherbrooke will want to do something to get their fans engaged.
Yep.
And that's not going to happen if they don't pick until the 6th round.
Yep.
They're going to do something. Gauthier is their best asset. I think their concern is they want him drafted into the NHL as a Sherbrooke Phoenix.
Yeah.
And that won't happen if he gets traded at the Q draft. So how do you make it work? Do you wait until the preseason trade? The preseason trade period?
You put the deal in place. Moncton drafts 3 players in the first round that are off your board or off a lot of boards that people are like, why would they make that deal? Why would they go that? And then the NHL draft happens, and then the preseason, Etienne Gauthier comes for player X, player Y, this and that. That's not making a splash for your organization for Sherbrooke, but coming into the preseason, maybe that is that. But yeah, you'd have, if it happens, you'd have Ethan Gauthier 1, and then, you just look at that draft. Grenier, 19th overall, Morin, 21st overall, Mercier, 23rd overall. So that's what you're building for a Memorial Cup run, and hopefully you get 1 or 2 other players on that list. That's well done, sir. That went from team of the week to potential
team of the 2024-2025 season. You're still, Barbashev's not going to be back next season.
Yeah.
So this gives you an opportunity to take an import that's born in that 05 year to build around with the Moraz and the Greniers and the Lounsburys and whoever else is 05s. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And so you have this player for 2 years. And the next year, the following summer, well, Tybell's not going to be back, right? So you have another opportunity and then you're going out and
maybe this is where they find the defenseman Axel Anderson that you don't have to acquire. You can just import draft.
That's right. You go and find somebody that you've got a connection with that says, okay, maybe the NHL team is like, you're not playing enough overseas. You need more minutes. Here's an opportunity for you.
On a national stage.
Playing 68 games a year.
Yep.
Hopefully winning more than 5 playoff games to win a Memorial Cup, you know.
Yeah, just get to the second round at least.
And you know, there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of dominoes that need to fall.
Yeah. The first
But
one is
this is step one.
Yeah.
And if step one falls, I'm telling you, man, our roster looks better than Rimouski's. And our roster looks, you know, Chicoutimi is going to look good that year, but I think Chicoutimi is more the following year because they had, you know, they got 3 or 4 first-round picks last year, and 2 of them didn't show up. I think one's maybe leaning, the other one's not.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think of another. I can't think of another team that other than Moncton and Rimouski that have the arena and will have the team to
host or
you know,
put the arena.
You can look at Cape Breton, but you know, Cape Breton will be good that year. But how can you turn down an 8,000 seat arena? You know, that just hosted a
World
Juniors with 76% ticket sales and fans who bared the cold every night to watch the games on the big screen, and you know, a couple thousand people came out to watch a band on New Year's Eve. Well, imagine what that's going to do to the city. You know, the first in June, right, when the weather's nicer.
That's what you built this whole arena for, was to eventually
to have these events.
Yeah, and a lot of people are thinking like, "Oh, we'll get the juniors back." No, that's a feather in the cap for the Memorial Cup.
You've got this plaza outside you can have events down there every night, and I'm pretty sure the city wouldn't mind blocking Main Street.
No,
you know, not during the week, but you know, on the weekends, that first weekend and the finals weekend.
Yeah.
You know, there's
the finals Wednesday.
Ugh, well, I hope they fix that.
Absolutely. But it's I don't want to say we're carbon copying Halifax, but look, they have hosted major events. They host the Memorial Cup. Everything is downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Moncton just had a dress rehearsal on how to host a major event.
And they did pretty damn good.
They did pretty darn good.
Yeah. So I think that really helps.
Yep.
And the fact that, you know, we've got an arena, we've got the hotels, we've got the outdoor venue. I mean, we've got everything we need.
And we just put a roster together.
Yeah. You know,
well, I didn't. Jeremy did.
Yeah. I will sit down some night and I will put together our 2024 roster that I think will win the Memorial Cup, and I'll share it with you guys one night, and I'll tell you, like, this is how dominoes fall, and this is what needs to happen if we want to have a Memorial Cup. And there's not going to be a better opportunity than 2025. God forbid, let's hope there's no COVID-23 or COVID-24.
That's the 2024-2025 season.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Just for those scoring at home.
I don't think there's not going to be a better opportunity.
Nope.
So I think
and if you start putting the Ethan Gauthier pieces together now, and you slowly start to put these pieces together, well, then you run into the London model, who went to 4 or 5 in a row, and maybe we've got a shot to represent in wherever it is in the OHL, right?
Yes, that could be it, right?
You start building your pieces, you come together, and then you already get to a Memorial Cup, and then you're hosting it the next year. So
well, why not go and win 2 in a row?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, it's next year we could very well compete with Victoriaville for all we know.
Yep.
Right? We could compete with Drummondville.
Yep. But it all starts.
This is step one. Like, it's the first. The Gauthier piece is domino number 1, and I think if domino number 1 falls. I think Richie listens to our show and says these guys are smart. Let's start listening to them a little more, and let's get ourselves a championship.
Let's if domino number one falls, might want to pay attention to our social medias for that weekend in the June, because we are going to claim that call, and by we I mean more so this guy. I'm just going to make the graphics for it. Let's get into the weekly rewind.
Weekly Rewind.
All right, running a little behind, but here we go. Welcome to the Weekly
Yeah,
Rewind.
well, my power just came back on, so my wife doesn't need me home anymore.
All right, perfect. Welcome to the Weekly Rewind, presented by the local sports pub. Looking for a great place to have wings, beer, and watch sports with friends? Head to 1715 Main Street, where the Salty Dog used to be. This week, we're doing something kind of cool. We are going to be there Wednesday night as part of Burger Week. Now, they've got 6 burgers. They don't have a kitchen there. They've got kind of a ghost kitchen, so they're bringing in 6 burgers. And I'm going to go with the Such a Brat burger.
Yeah.
Which is from barbecue place. I can't remember what it is.
Big Dogs,
Big Dogs Barbecue,
yeah.
Beef patty, smoked brat, smoky mustard aioli, bacon and cheddar cheese on a toasted pretzel bun. And you were going to go with the chicken burger,
Yes,
right?
because last week I said that my unpopular food opinion was that chicken burgers are better than beef burgers,
Yep.
and I couldn't remember where it was from, but it's actually from the Brooklyn Deli,
Yep.
which is also part of the East Coast Kitchens group off on St. George, so Ghost Kitchen concept. So yeah, it's literally what I said: battered chicken, topped in butter chicken sauce, mozzarella cheese, fried garlic naan bread, jalapeno aioli, and potato bun. So that to me is that's my chicken burger.
So
that
they've got 6 there. So they got the you want a pizza me, the everything but gluten, the nacho average burger, as well as the gone fishing burger, plus the 2 that we're going to have. We're also going to try and use it as a test run. We're going to try and have the Islanders Wildcats game on the TV as well. So for any of our fan listeners that want to come down, support local, support Burger Fest, and watch the hockey game with us, let's make it happen. So after going 5-1 in the past 6 before this week, they've now lost 2 in a row. One of the games was canceled. Special teams was the key. Goaltending was the key. Which brings our record to 21-16, 0-2 for 44 points. Second in the Maritimes, tied for 4th in the conference with Chicoutimi. So you go back all the way to Wednesday, lost 4-2. In the game, they played fast like Quebec played. They weathered a bit of the storm. They came out in the second period. An iffy call on Hamel for being strong led to their first goal. The last one, puck over glass, we've had a few of those this year, leads to them getting the momentum. We just couldn't find it again. But I would say that this game, as well as the Halifax one, not Steinman's best efforts. He'd want the third one, the one off the first one went off Plandowski. The other one was like a wrap in. From what I heard from fans down on the other end, he had his foot against the post, just kind of moved a little bit. They were able to jam it in. So probably not his best effort. He would want some of those back, but they were right in this game against Quebec. And penalties, special teams, was it?
Yeah. You're right. I would say Steinman, the game against Halifax wasn't his best. I think he was okay. I think he was pretty good against Quebec. I mean, they still had 40 shots or something, right?
Yeah.
So he stopped 37 out of 40.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's still...
I mean, the first one, I didn't know that it went off Plandowski.
Yeah.
I thought he just kind of whiffed at it.
So, that's still like a 9-10 save percentage. You can't go wrong with that. He kept them in the game. Let's put it that way. Yeah, the puck over glass, it's starting to be a tradition now for Ballantyne. I don't know if the glass in Junior A in Ontario is a little higher, but he's got to learn to maybe keep that maybe a couple inches short. But I know at the beginning of the season, him and Marcel were just whiffing it over the glass at every opportunity. Yeah. And that's what I was like, why is it just them? Why is it just these guys that are doing it? So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate because when Mercier scored that goal with, we got him, and we're gonna get a point in this game, and then just a heartbreaker, and then you go to Halifax, and it's you have the game. Morin had a tie game on his stick. It was. Like when I say wide open, like this net was wide open. Like he had the full net to shoot at and clanked it off the post. That's going to happen. And then next thing you know, they're coming down and getting an empty netter. So we were in the Quebec game.
Yep.
We were in the Halifax game.
Yep. We were very much in the Halifax game except for 2 back-to-back penalties and then the one where Steinman's just not allowing a pass across up off the stick, up over his glove.
Yeah. It's just a couple bad bounces, but I think the Halifax game was just penalties.
Yeah.
Penalties. Power play goal. You can't do that against any team. And especially Halifax. I mean, they've got the top 6 that's just a dynamite. And so you can't do that.
And they've done that and gotten away with it against the Charlottetowns, the Bathurst, but you're not going to get away with that against good teams. You're just not, and especially. And what I've liked about Moncton in the past couple weeks, at least, their second periods have been so good. And last night they had 3 goals in the second period, and the fight where I said, we're going to give Halifax maybe a run in a series, is they play them very tough for every piece of ice. And in Quebec, against Quebec, both teams skated fast, but Quebec made plays at that speed. Moncton isn't quite there to make those plays at that speed, and they don't have a chance to think when they're out there because Quebec was just so fast on them. I'm not saying Halifax isn't, but it's just that division rivalry. You could tell probably that a little bit of the last game against Halifax was possibly creeping in when they got up. They would score, and then we'd score, and then they'd score, and then we'd score. Like it had that feeling of the comeback, and I think that kind of, except for 2 power play goals, Moncton probably wins this hockey game.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's, I think it's been addressed. I think they need to address it. They're taking penalties at the wrong time.
Yeah,
and that's what's killing them. Honestly, we got to say,
50%. They were 4 of 8 in the PK, which they were at 90% in that 6-game stretch.
You can't do that if that's the difference in the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, and but hey, look, you got Miles Mueller who scored with his dad. Made the trip down, so that was good to see, and even got 3rd star, which I thought was pretty awesome. And
did you forget Thomas Darcy played in Quebec? Because I won't lie, I kind of did.
I didn't. And
I got to the warm up and saw a sign with Darcy. I'm like, oh yeah, Darcy's playing. Like we didn't even talk about it in the lead up. I was like, oh yeah, Darcy was there.
He's kind of that. You kind of forget about it.
Yeah,
and I loved how they gave him a star.
He had 2 assists, but yeah.
Did he come out? Do we know?
No, he didn't come out.
He didn't come out. Okay. So yeah, those that's 4 points that I think we kind of let slip away. 2 points for sure that we let slip away.
Yeah.
Fortunately, without getting too confident, the next 5 games,
10 points
should be
8.
I hope. Because if you don't get,
you got Charlottetown tonight, Cape Breton Friday, Chicoutimi Sunday, St. John the following Saturday, Cape Breton the following Sunday. We looked at the schedule when you were here on Sunday. Stay tuned for that interview tomorrow. And they got the first week of February, they got a 6-game road trip, Gatineau, Victoriaville, Quebec. You need to put points in the bank right now, because I think we joked 2 points is going to be an excellent 3-game stretch between Gatineau, Victoriaville, and Quebec. So I think you have to get at least 8. And the way they're playing, the way they played against Quebec, I said they play any other team, they win.
Well,
and they almost did it against Halifax.
And I've said it. I said they play to their opponents.
Yep.
And they play down to their weaker opponents. You know, like they can go into Charlottetown, and they know Charlottetown's last overall in the league, and they will put together one of their worst performances of the season. They will beat them
3-1 with an empty netter.
Like that's the whole thing about it's the Jekyll and Hyde Wildcats. You never know what team's going to show up, right? And if this team wants to be real, they need to get real.
Yeah.
Right? This is the opportunity where they've got the next 5 games against teams they should beat. They've struggled against Cape Breton, and they've got 2 of the next 5 against Cape Breton.
Yeah.
Well, time to put that struggle behind you and get the monkey off your damn back and win a couple of games here. And I'm sick and tired of getting messages from Andrew Barrington every time the Wildcats lose to Cape Breton.
Yep. Little smiley face.
Is W, 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 W. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going to block you soon, kid. Let's get 10 points.
Yeah.
Let's get 10 points, because after that, you're going on one heck of a road trip, folks. Like, you are going to Gatineau. You are going to Victoriaville, and you are going to Quebec. 3 contenders.
In 4 days.
67, that's going to be tough.
That's the top 3 teams in the Eastern Western Conference right now.
You are in tough.
Yep.
This is where the next 5 is where you want to make up ground. You want to get your points because those 3 games, man, if we get 2, I'll be happy.
Because the goal, against those 3, yeah. We were like, how many points are you going to get? I'm like, 1. Getting overtime. Don't concentrate on trying to catch Halifax.
No,
Put catching Halifax out of your mind. You're not going to get that. They're on an unreal run. You need to
get home ice. Home ice.
Not even home ice. You need to focus on Rimouski. You need to get your 4 points behind them. You need that 3rd seed. Because right now you're tied with Chicoutimi, but you need that 3rd seed so you do not face Quebec. And yes, we did play them really well at home. Everyone was rested. But you're not beating Halifax 4-7. There's no one in the Eastern Conference that is beating Halifax or beating Quebec in 4 of 7 games. There's not. So you might get 1, but my goal for the team right now is to get that 3rd seed. Rimouski, they're in an easier division, so it's tough because with the division games that they've got, they're going to be playing. I always forget which division they're in.
I just want home ice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do too.
We even had a home ice
Since
weekend playoff game. In how many years?
I've never seen it. Now, the last 2 years there wasn't one, and there was this weird thing, but did we have it in 2019? Anyways, Rimouski plays Quebec, so that'll help. Chicoutimi, that'll help. So those are the 2 teams that are going to be facing off quite a bit, and they play Baie-Comeau, who isn't an easy out right now.
No.
So that does help us a bit. When was the last time we had?
I don't know.
I believe it couldn't have been 2017. Was it 2019?
I have no idea, but it's like the thing that sucks is getting these Tuesday night playoff games.
Yeah.
Where you're lucky if 3,000 people show up. You know? You need those big crowds.
Yeah.
You need the weekend home playoff games. You need the money. Like they need to look, if anything right now, I'm playing for home ice in the first round. That's all I care about. I want a weekend home playoff game. My hands are up in the air right now because that's all I want.
Yeah, that's what you're going for. But what I'm saying is, on top of that, so 2016, the 2016 playoffs against Victoriaville was the last time that they had home ice advantage, because in 2017 they didn't make the playoffs because they lost everything that year.
Yeah.
2018 was the year I got here and we opened up against Rimouski, in Rimouski, and then 2019 we played Baie-Comeau and won in 7, so it was in Baie-Comeau, so that wasn't one because that was a 2-3-2.
Yep.
And then 20 was nothing. 21 was a weird New Brunswick thing, and then 2022 was Charlottetown. So, yeah, 2016.
Just give me home ice in the first round of the playoffs. That's all I ask for right now.
Yep.
That's all I want. And
I want a little bit more. I want that 3rd seed, which is home ice advantage, because I want that second round Quebec matchup where we have, not saying we're going to beat them, but we have played more competitive games against them in the long term. And
you think Quebec is a favorable matchup over Halifax?
No. No, I think Halifax is a more favorable matchup over Quebec.
Good. Okay,
I want that second round matchup against Halifax because we played them a little bit tougher. And so
I've said Halifax will have trouble going to the second round.
Yeah. So Charlottetown, Cape Breton, Lavallee's final return with Chicoutimi on the Sunday. So I mean that's 6 points.
Jersey.
Yeah. It's got to be 5. It's got to be minimum 5. Minimum
free
5.
Lavallee.
Free Lavallee. We should make a sign that says that. See if we can get him to sign it. Yeah, you ready for everyone's favorite part of the show?
Sure.
Eric Murray, realtor, buy our house from him. Stick tap of the week.
Well, didn't expect this one, but huge congrats to the Moncton Flyers on winning the Ice Jam. It's good job. Didn't expect that.
No, I don't think.
But
a lot
hey,
of people did.
look, this team is. We went to go see them at the start of the year, and I remember saying to you, Adam, this team's going to have trouble this year.
And they have.
But this what I've also noticed is that they're starting to find their groove at the right time. And do I think they're going to win Atlantis again? Probably not. But you just won the Ice Jam, so you never know.
Over the Knights.
Over the Knights.
Who won the Monctonian.
And everybody's saying, well, St. John's the team to beat. Well, they beat St. John like 6-1 in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, something's got to give here. So maybe it's just maybe they get off on the wrong foot and they finally found their groove, I think, maybe. And look, with John DeCourcy behind the bench, this team can go as far as they want.
Yeah.
And I think it's...
And they're finally healthy. That helps, too. They've had guys in and out of the lineup
and
throughout the year. Their power play is starting to click.
Yep.
It's just, on the broadcast with Mike, I said it doesn't matter what you're playing like in in October and November. It matters once you get to the real season. It's kind of like Labor Day. The real season starts after the Monctonian and after the Ice Jam, because now you get into the playoffs. There's a few matchups left. I know they play Friday against. I know who they play and I can't remember. I know they play Friday, so it's who you're playing when you're playing it. And look, that New Brunswick PEI League has won the Monctonian, has won the Ice Jam. I mean, won the TELUS Cup last year. So this is a league that's got some good teams going in. Who do they play?
Kensington.
Nice. I haven't seen them play yet.
Yeah.
So, good for them.
No, it's I didn't expect. Like I said, I didn't expect it to happen. When I was like, okay, well, they made the playoffs at school, playing St. John. I checked the score. I'm like, what the hell is it? They're winning 4-0. Okay. So I'm like, okay, cool. They beat St. John. Now they're going on to the semis. They're going to play, the Weeks, who I think are number 1 in Nova Scotia right now. What the hell? They beat the Weeks? Okay.
All right.
Cool. And I'm like, okay, semifinals, cool, against the South Shore Mustangs, who absolutely suck. Of course they're going to beat the South Shore Mustangs, who absolutely suck. Okay, and they're in the finals against the Knights, who have a pretty damn good team.
And won the Monctonian.
And they beat the Knights. And you have Knights parents commenting on the Moncton Flyers Facebook page saying they didn't deserve it because the Knights were tired. Well, the teams play the same amount of games. So, and go.
Yeah, those tournaments are tough, and everyone's tired by the final.
They're like,
that's
the Knights played 3 games in 24 hours. Great. The Flyers played 3 games in 26 hours. Do you think 2 hours difference is the reason why you lost the tournament?
It's weird how they didn't comment that when they won the Monctonian.
Interesting.
And played 3 games in less than 24 hours, won the tournament.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, and 2 Wildcat prospects, Nika Jean and Cooper Cormier,
who was a beast in that tournament.
Yeah. Continuing to win.
Yeah. Awesome. Good job to the Flyers, back in action Friday night against the Kensington Wild, otherwise known as the Green and Red team, also with the same logo as the Minnesota Wild.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. Canada Games coming up. It's going to be fun. Hopefully there's some games that are televised.
That's about when we get into the prospects and stuff like that.
Because then
we got the Quebec lists. We kind of got an Atlantic list. You can kind of put things together. When does that start? Middle of February?
I think so. And of course, you've got the New Brunswick is in the absolute group of death.
Quebec, Ontario, and Alberta.
Pretty damn close. Let me pull it up here. So schedules, view schedule. It's when I first saw it, I was like, "Damn, that sucks."
While you find that, I'm going to play the outro.
You good? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
The Stick Tap of the Week, sponsored by Eric Murray Real Estate with the RE/MAX Avante team. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Greater Moncton or surrounding area, make sure to check him out on social media or give him a call at 506-863-8802.
So not as bad as I thought.
Okay.
Quebec, BC, and Saskatchewan. You're fucked. I mean, that's hey, that Quebec game, gonna be an awesome game to watch.
Yeah.
February 27th at the Credit Union Place in Summerside. I'm pretty sure this is men's. Let me just confirm here. No. Sorry, this is hockey female. My bad.
Hey, look, that's still going to be a good game.
Yes, absolutely. I'm pretty sure it's the same. New Brunswick, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Quebec. Yes. Yeah. So the New Brunswick-Quebec game is... Where'd it go? Monday, February 20th at 4 p.m. at the McLaughlin Arena in Charlottetown.
That's Family Day.
Yeah. So that's going to be a good scouting good scouting opportunity. And then you've got Nova Scotia in it. Nova Scotia's got the group of death, if you ask me.
Yeah.
They've got Alberta, BC, and Ontario. Then you have Pool C, which is the We Suck division, Newfoundland, Nunavut, Northwest Territories, and PEI.
Hey, when you're hosting, you got the advantage of who
There
you
you
get in
go.
your division, right?
It says, so, but not to look. It's going to be fun hockey. Yeah, that Family Day game is going to be a good one to watch. And hopefully it's somewhere that we can stream it because that's kind of that's your draft. That's
Well, back when when Quebec hosted the draft the year before was the Canada Games in Alberta.
yeah.
And I was watching a couple of them, and I watched the final, and everyone was talking about Joshua Waugh, and I came on here and said, I don't want Joshua Waugh, I want Zachary Leroux, and
That's right.
well, we got him for 6 months,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, so that's going to be your game. That's a game that if you're wanting to scout the talent, that's the one you're going to want to watch.
absolutely. All right, that brings us to the Wildcats Wildcat of the Week presented by Rosemary Lynn Massage and Spa, which now direct bill. If you want to know all the companies they direct bill, go on to Facebook. Look it up as well. January is the special 60 minutes quintessential facial. You save $30. It's now $50. The 90-minute you save $25. It is now $70. And the dermaplanning facial is now $50. So you save $20 in the month of January. So if you want to book any of those, give her a call at 506-830-1224 or visit them at 1224 Mountain Road. Let me get through the read first. The Wildcats Wildcat of the Week goes to a player that has a 6-game point streak going right now. 2 goals, 8 assists. Kind of a quiet 6-game point streak with the Barbs one. I know that Trenholm had one that just ended, but kind of a quiet streak. And look, he's helping that third line be a difference in giving us depth. And you always want to have depth in your lines with Barbs and Mueller, which is speed, size, toughness. Your Wildcats Wildcat of the Week is Captain Alexei Daniel. That'll do it for us, man. That'll do it this week. A little bit of a longer one, but hey, we talked draft prospects. We talked draft trades, and maybe got you guys excited for that as well. Stay tuned tomorrow. We do have an interview with Matthias Mueller as he joined us in studio over the weekend just to talk about Miles playing in Canada across the pond, coming over here to watch how they kind of divide that with a family as well, being volunteer president of the Lees Hockey Club over in Switzerland. So again, big thank you to him for doing that. Hopefully he has a safe flight, gets back to Switzerland safe and sound. Again, Charlottetown, Cape Breton on the road, Chicoutimi Sunday at the Avenir Center. But tonight, go to the local sports pub where the Salty Sea Dog used to be. Join us for Burger Fest and have a great week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wildcast Podcast. Follow us on social media at Moncton Wildcast.